Hello and welcome to another edition of the program. I'm Victor Matthias. Now, the Army the world over is known to protect the territorial integrity of nations they serve, and a day, January the 15th, has been set aside to celebrate these heroes who lose life and limb in the process of protecting citizens. But in Nigeria, some citizens feel enough has not been done to pay respects to serving, retired and fallen heroes of the country. On the program today, we'll be looking at what needs to be done, but then before we begin that conversation, we're going to look at the trends in the past week. 2015 elections. Nigerians continued to monitor the political goings-on in the country ahead of the 2015 elections, with political parties moving from one location to the other, campaigning for votes. Pump price. The reduction of petrol pump price by the federal government by 10 naira also made trends, as it was the major story Nigerians were tracking. For some, it was a campaign strategy ahead of the 2015 elections, while others believed the decision was inevitable. Well, there you go, the trends in the past week, but straight to business. We begin with the Google Plus Hangout, and I'm sure you have a thing or two to say. Just tweet them using the hashtag Nigerian Heroes.
People don't remember that particular date because no one cares about, or even the government does not care about the military, about them. It's as clear as that. When you don't care about the forces, not just the military, by the way, even the police, the naval and stuff, when you don't care about them, it shows how do you expect the people to care about them, to care for them? So it's very clear. Once the government takes this serious, the people as well will take it very serious. So I think the Nigerian military is one of the best, but they've been facing challenges as well. Okay, not just sabotage or stuff, but they're facing challenges of not having enough weapons and stuff. And I think this has really pulled them back in a way that that have not made them be able to fight the Boko Haram impact. I'm talking about their benefit, salaries, or whatever thing that's going to make them feel appreciated. This is what I mean. Like, government do not really appreciate them that much, because these people they should be happy being soldiers. They should be taken good care of, and this is what they're not getting. At the moment. They're not getting it at all. So that's why I said the government do not care about them as well. So that's why the average Nigeria will not even remember what it is to be what's called a Remembrance Day.
For every day, set apart to celebrate anybody, the priority placed on it by the government the government on seat will determine the drive at which the people will go towards it. So I think if the government on seat prioritizes it, if they actually see it as something worth celebrating that much, then there will be no how the people will not remember it and celebrate along. Now, one question to be asked is, I can't remember, it's been a while I've been in Nigeria. Is there a public holiday on January 15th?
Not that I know of.
Okay, good. So when there's no public holiday, everybody goes about their normal activity. So what is it there to celebrate? Just like asking how many people know what diabetic do, People who are really not concerned don't know. So, but if you want to make it something worthwhile, then it has to be given more value to by declaring a public holiday, and people understand that we are celebrating our armed forces Remembrance Day. So I think it was trivialized by the government who has been, and the people follow suit.
Presently, I think the Nigerian military or the Nigerian armed forces, they are not in the best shape at the moment, probably due to the lack of negligence by the political circle. And I think for every country, the armed forces is very important, because without the military, the democracy stuff cannot work properly. They play their role as well, so we shouldn't just look at them as if they are not so important. They are much more important. We should celebrate them. I think they should declare a public holiday to recognize these people.
All right.
We should if it's possible that day, we should all put on green, white, green to respect these people because it goes a long way. You can see how America and the British, how they celebrate these people when it comes to their day. I think it's very important. Also, in Russia, they respect their military. So we shouldn't forget these people if you want our country to function properly.
The first thing, I think the basic thing is just to be appreciated. We just have to appreciate them first before we even go to public holidays or things like that. We have to have that feeling like we've lost a brother. You understand? When I mean, the moment we start feeling that way, I think that's when things will start changing, and even the soldiers and the armed forces, they will get that morale. You understand? Because right now, you know, they, it's like they have this feeling that even if they die in the front lines, nobody will know. They won't be remembered, and that's just the simple fact. I think, but I mean, there've been some improvements. I think there are these two people. I can't really remember their names. That lost their lives. I mean, their pictures have been going around on the social media. I've forgotten. I don't really know their names. But that's a start. But then that's the thing. Most of the things start changing at the social media, but then they don't go down. They don't translate to the people, to the average Nigerian, because it's not every Nigerian that has a smartphone or that even has electricity to watch news. So I mean, it's not enough to honor them just by just using their pictures and all that. But we have to make it a bigger deal than it is at the situation.
Um, I think negligence has now become, the story or the present day norm of the Nigerian government, which should not be so. And I think these soldiers, once again, are a victim of government negligence. So I think the government should do more in every sector to deal with the social security of their people. But everybody should be paid their entitlements. What do you think of somebody who gave 35 years of his active service to Nigeria? What do you think of somebody who had, a lot of opportunities? No, I'm not right now in Ukraine, and imagine I'm a medical student, and imagine after my medical studies, after I graduated, of which I think I'm studying meritoriously right now, and I get a lot of offers to be retained back here, and I still decide to, heed the clarion call of my country, and I give 35 years of meritorious service to my country, only to be treated like a service. It's inhumane, and I think the Nigerian government should look into that. Then talking about the appreciation of the armed forces, I am a firm believer of the fact that the appreciation should be national rather than ethnic or it should not be based on state divide. It should not be based on language divide or even on religious divide. It's not about where they are actively in operation right now. It should be a national movement to appreciate our armed forces. The life of every Nigerian counts. It doesn't matter what they are, walks in life. It doesn't matter where they are working, where they are serving. It doesn't matter if it's a soldier. I do not want a Nigerian soldier at the mercy of an insurgent. So imagine them going to fight with weapons that are outdated, and sometimes maybe with little bullets. It's like a suicide mission. I don't want any Nigerian soldier going on a suicide mission, as much as they are risking their lives for us. Yes, but sending people to go and die on the battlefield without appropriate, without appropriate equipment. How many of them can send their sons there? So I think they are just being inhumane. And at the end of the day, these people say, give us good weapons before we go and fight, and you are caught materially dead. That is wrong, and it's so inhumane. That is not who we are as Nigerians. And I want to call for a no against that.
The fact is that the soldier is always at the losing end. They are the ones losing their lives at the battlefield, and at the same time, the people they are protecting, we don't really have good things to say about them. You see, so they're not really heroes. That's just the fact. Right now, they are not heroes to many Nigerians. So the government has to change that. If you send them to the battlefield, give them good weapons. You understand? Give them good weapons, and then make sure you have I mean, you establish a better relationship between them and the people, so that the people really appreciate them. You see, like, because it's like an average soldier in Nigeria, I mean, is seen as someone that is tough, someone that doesn't smile, someone that, once you just make the wrong move, he will slap you, he will break your legs. That's what, I mean, an average person sees a soldier as. You understand? But then you see, it's not really all about. We would like to see the human. I mean, the human in them. You understand? You see all these homecoming videos of the American soldiers. You see them reuniting with their family. Then you remember that they also have that, what's it called? They still have that feature. They still have the compassion. They still have the, what's it called, the deep feelings. Then, I mean, Nigerians need to be reminded of that, because we just see the soldiers as, really, sorry to use this word, but monsters.
The truth be told, the Nigerian army also go they trespass their boundaries as to what they are called to serve. Their constitutional roles. In the country where I am, the soldiers stay in their barracks, and when they are in the city, they obey every constitutional principle. That's why there's a difference between a policeman, and a soldier. The soldier are meant to be in their barrack, and each time they are in the, except it's like an operation, so to say, they are as civil. They should be as civil as possible. That's why you see in America, a soldier can be arrested as long as it's not in his barrack. Can be arrested is need to face the same civil laws every other civilian faces. They are not above the law, and I think Nigeria has treated them as such. And I think basically it's a phobia that has been due to the fact that we've had a lot of military regimes, and people have still not gotten out of that fear. But it's also now also it even boils down to the fact that Nigerians, how many of us know our constitutional rights? How many of us can defend our constitutional rights? How many of us can defend another Nigerian civilian when he's been abused by these, let me use the word soldiers now, but when they begin to abuse, they become zombies. So I think it's not right for them to abuse a civilian in any way.
Well, you just heard them yourselves, and we also see your comments coming through. We're going to take a look at some of them later on in the show, but first we take a break, and when we return, we'll be joined by Adekoya Boladale. Please stay with us.